Okay, we should have Teedra Moses on the line. I do believe she's on the line. Have we got a connection there? We got a connection?
Yes, we do. What's up? That's okay.
How you doing, Teedra? How you doing?
I'm super blessed. I got no complaints. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I tell you what, it's really cold in the UK, man. It's really cold.
It's really cold in New York City too.
Oh
I'm
my
wishing I was
goodness.
in Miami.
Oh my god. The last time I spoke to you was a couple of years ago, actually, when you came to the UK. But you know the funny thing is, Teedra, I've never actually had the chance to see you live. I can't believe it. I mean, we've had
Oh my
I
God, what are you
swear, I
doing?
swear, I swear, I've never had the chance to see you live, even though we've spoken on a couple of occasions. But next week, I tell you what, I'm not missing your show next week.
You better not, because if you do, I'm gonna come looking for you.
No doubt, no doubt. So listen, the whole of the world's locked on right now, and undoubtedly we've got one of the best soul songstress on the phone right now, Teedra Moses, the impeccable Teedra Moses. Now, Teedra, for some of the younger listeners who are not familiar with yourself and your rise into the game, just give me a little insight about how you got into the business, because there are some people that may have missed the first interview that we done a couple of years ago. So just give them a little insight about how you got into the game, Teedra.
Well, I started out doing wardrobe styling, assisting wardrobe styling for music videos. That's how I started in the music industry. And eventually I started to make my own music, and we started to shop that around. And a lot of people liked the records. So I ended up becoming a songwriter before I even was signed as an artist. And then shortly after I placed a couple of songs, I was signed to TVT Records, an independent that was out of New York. And from there, I made Complex Simplicity, my first album. Biggest song was Be a Girl. And I wonder if you even notice me. And oh, that kind of got me going. And from
Well, you're getting
there,
me going. It's early
this
in the morning.
label.
Just take time with me, please. Take time, okay?
and, and then the label, it kind of went away. And so I started to make all these mixtapes. So it got me a really great underground following. And then just last year, August 7th, 2015, I was able to put out my second album, my sophomore album, Cognac Conversation. And December 17th of last year, I dropped my last mixtape, Clairvoyant. So I'm basically a singing, songwriter, performer, mixtape producer. I do my thing.
Now, a lot of people are quite interested as to what was the hold up for the second release of the album? Why did it take so long for you to drop something after so long?
Well, initially I would say to you because of the business, which was a large part of it. The label I was on went bankrupt, and I didn't quickly run out to go find another label because tying yourself to a label is a big deal, and I just didn't want to do something hastily and make the wrong decision. But I think part of it was me trying to get around to what I wanted to say and not move too far from Complex Simplicity, because I wanted to try so much stuff. But I didn't want everybody to see me trying and failing.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I kind of wanted to just get the stuff out of my system. Then I came back, and I think I came back pretty strong with Cognac and Conversation and pretty consistent to my prior work.
So what's different about Teedra from when did you emerge onto the scene? Was it 2002? Was it about that time, was it?
2004 is when my album came out. 2003 was my first single came out.
Right, that's it. Okay, so what's changed about you as an artist right up until your second project?
I wouldn't say change. I would say developed and evolved. I've become very, very aware of how actually talented I am.
Right.
And I don't say that to sound arrogant, but in the beginning I didn't think it was anything special that I was doing. I was just doing what I felt. And it's not that I feel like at this point it's something special. I just own that I have something unique, and I walk in that confidence now. I didn't have that confidence in.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, we've got to commend you, because there's not many people in the game right now that can tour, endlessly off one album. I mean, you've been touring for over a decade from your first album. I mean, come on, you deserve an award for that alone.
Come on, let's like set up a committee or something. I need my award.
No, we need to give you an award for that because, I mean, you know what it's like, Teedra. A lot of people come into the game, they burst onto the scene, and you've been very blessed and fortunate to still tour and still accumulate new fans over the years off one album and now the second project, which you've dropped. Do you know, that is a blessing. How do you feel about that?
That is a huge blessing, but I think what people don't understand is that I've been cultivating my fan base,
right?
And I have been feeding them with mixtapes and single releases, and I didn't make an album, but I've been touring and doing shows off of one album and 5 mixtapes. Like the people that love you, they don't need a major release. They just want to hear the music.
Most definitely.
So I gave them music, and so that drew new people in. And then when other people found out about Complex Simplicity, they would go back and they would find all these mixtapes, and they realized that I was actually a artist that truly made music and made art. And I think they tied into that. And I think a lot of people really like to see someone keep trying.
Yeah.
It's something inspiring to watch somebody just be the Energizer Bunny and never quit.
Yeah, I understand. So do you still get inspired by today's R&B? Because I know when we spoke last time, you were saying you like the way that it's evolving, you like the way that it's moving, and there was new acts emerging into the scene different times. But I don't know, a lot of them don't stay around long enough sometimes to sustain a full career. What do you feel about the current state of R&B right now yourself, as someone who's been around for over a decade?
I still love it. I know we have artists that are coming and have staying power. You can't tell me that BJ the Chicago Kid doesn't have staying power. Janae Aiko has staying power. Janelle Monáe has staying power. And some of them cross alternatives of R&B, but it's still R&B, and it's good stuff. Chris Brown is good music, and he has staying power, Like, I just feel like, I think those that don't have staying power don't matter. I don't pay attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new group by the name of The Internet. They had a couple of albums before now, but they just made Ego Death, which is an amazing album, now nominated for a Grammy. They have staying power. I just think that I focus on what I enjoy, so I see a lot of it.
Yeah, I hear that. Now, the new project, we love the whole album, but the track with you and Anthony Hamilton seems to be the ladies' favorite. They love that tune.
Cool.
Tell me how that track even came about, and what's the relationship with yourself and Anthony Hamilton? How did that even come about, that track?
Well, I wrote that track I wrote that song to a different track.
Okay.
And I wasn't able to get that track for my album. Anthony wrote his part to a different track as well. And then we have Bink, who is a Grammy Award-winning producer. He's produced for Jay-Z, Kanye West, Rick Ross, you name it. And he's a good friend of mine. He came in and he did the beat over. And the music really came together organically, even though we had written it to a whole different track. And it was just great because Bink is my really good friend, and Anthony is my friend. He's a great guy. I ended up going out on tour with him and singing the song with him on a lot of his different dates, and people received it really well. And he's just extremely supportive of me and what I do as a really good friend. And I just adore him, and he's a funny guy. And a lot of people don't know how actually hilarious this guy really is.
That's crazy.
He's walking around all day with a great attitude and constantly cracking jokes.
Oh, that's crazy. Listen, if you've just logged on Buzz Radio this morning, we have the lovely Teedra Moses on the line. Do you know what, Teedra? Can I say something as well? I've been doing radio for like 15 years now. Do you know that you're the first ever phoner I've ever had on my show? Because most of my interviews are live.
What?
Seriously, this is the first time I've spoken to an artist on the phone. I've never done it before.
Well, it's cool. We're having a great conversation. I hope you like it.
No, listen, come on, man. I love it, man. I mean, how long we got? How long we got? We need to do this. So listen, tell me about yourself. I mean, are you a family woman? Because I understand that you have children too. How do you fit around family life, around, being on the road, making music? How do you adjust everything and keep everything on point as a mum?
Well, I've raised my children being an artist. So
right.
They're grown-ups now. They're handling their own business. They're doing their own thing. They live in LA. I live in Miami, so I don't have to worry about balancing them anymore. But throughout the time that I did, God gave me the time to be a parent and to be an artist.
Right.
And I think it had a lot to do with my destiny, because it wasn't my time then to be on a level where I couldn't see my kids and couldn't raise them. Now that they're adults, God has a different plan for me, because I always wanted to be a good mom.
Wow.
Nothing would ever come before them. So I think now it's just a better time for me to just go full-fledged into going where God has for me, rather than taking away from the time back then when I needed to be there for my sons.
Wow.
I think I balanced it to the best of my ability to keep feeding them and still be there.
Yeah. Is music something that they want to take up themselves, or what's their pursuits?
They're pursuing music in Los Angeles right now.
Okay.
They start school in February at the Academy of Recording and Film, and they're very, very talented. You know, their father is an underground rapper in Los Angeles, and as well, I'm a writer, so they're naturally very, very talented.
Oh wow. So listen, the new mixtape, Clairvoyant.
Yeah.
What's it called again? It's Clairvoyant, right?
It is called Clairvoyant.
That's
yes.
right, Clairvoyant.
Would you like to know why?
Right. Why did you call it Clairvoyant? I mean, or is it quite self-explanatory?
Basically because I see exactly where I'm going. You know, like for a long time I was unclear and unsure. Cannot tell you the exact steps it's going to take for me to get there.
Right.
But I'm very clear on where my life is headed in the whole 360 of it. You know, I see it all, and I'm just walking dead into it. And I can't really see any peripheral.
Mm-hmm.
I can only see it where I'm going, you know. And I don't know if it's a focus. I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know if that's what it's called, or more so just a vision.
Right.
That I see very clear. And if you know what a clairvoyant is, the person that sees vision.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the vision.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I called it clairvoyant at this time, because I'm very, very clear on where I'm going, and I feel it. I feel it pulling me.
Would it be fair to say, Teedra, that you're a very spiritual person? Because I think we kind of touched on this before when we had a conversation. Yeah.
I am. I'm very, very spiritual. Not religious at all, but very, very spiritual.
No, man, I love your vibe, you know. So listen, you're in the country next week.
Yes.
You know, everybody's looking forward to this show. 3 nights sold out at the Jazz Cafe. What are we expecting next week? For those who have never come to witness a Teedra Moses show, what are we expecting next week at the Jazz Cafe?
Next week, I'm going to bring, as always, I'm going to bring good vibes and that intimacy, like you're in my living room, like I'm singing to you from my living room. But this show, I want to just artistically express myself a little different, you know. I want you to leave the venue feeling like you had an experience with me. You know, not just watching me do this show and sing along. I want it to be an experience that you can always go back to in your life, that it felt like a room full of people on the same page, on the same wave. You know, that's my objective, to pull us all into the same wave.
You know, what's the scene like in Miami, in New York, when it comes to like soul? Because I know in London, in the UK, they love the Neosoul movement, you know, like Anthony Hamilton, all those kind of artists, Eric Robinson and things like that. Is there still a big movement like that in Miami? You know, are those artists still have the same kind of repertoire out there in Miami? Is it the same?
In Miami is not, in my opinion, very big on soul music.
Okay.
New York is, Atlanta is, DC is, but LA is, but Miami is more of a you know, pump your fist kind of music. Like, you know, they're big for their big, gigantic Vegas style clubs, you know, so it's a little different.
They're getting turned up. They're always getting turned up out there.
Exactly. They don't really know how to catch that vibe, you know.
So what you listening to at the moment, Teedra? What's in your what's on your hi-fi? What's on your iPod? What are you listening to at the moment?
Well, I always loved FK Twigs, and I had been listening to her all of last summer. Not the last summer, summer before that. I listened to her a lot. I've come back around to her LP1, so I've been listening to her. I've definitely listened to Ego Death from the internet.
Okay, Internet's album's bad album, man. Bad.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I've been listening to Sade a lot lately because I just want to capture her vibe. I've been listening to Mary J. Blige a lot because I'm studying them a little bit because this new album, I wanted to embody some of the greatest women I've ever, had a chance to experience in music, and those are two. So I've been listening. I've been a little bit nostalgic lately.
Okay. So will you have much time to go around London and the UK when you come this time round, or is it just solely for the trip?
Yes.
You will?
No, I'm gonna definitely take some time and hang out. Yeah.
No, man.
What should I do?
What you want to do? Listen, we need to go and get some jerk chicken, rice and peas for a start. How about that?
I'm with that.
Are you with that?
I'm with that. Jerk chicken, rice and peas. Actually, unfortunately, it would have to be like fish because I don't eat chicken anymore.
Oh, really? Okay, then we could do jerk fish. We could do jerk fish.
Yeah. Jerk fish or stewed fish or something of that nature. I'm all for it.
All right, let's do this. So listen, we've got Teedra Moses on the phone. I can't believe it. This is crazy. You know what? You know who was just in the studio like 20 minutes ago, Teedra? We had Anderson .Paak this morning.
Oh, wow. He's so amazing.
Yeah. So this is a crazy show for me this morning. I can't believe it. Real Buzz Radio. This is a crazy show. So listen, I'm going to ask you a favor. It's my first phoner for 2016. First phoner ever on the Universal show. What's the chances of Teedra doing a little something on the phone? Can you do a little something on the phone? Just to give them a little taster for next week. Can you do something?
Sure. What would you like me to do?
Let's go with let's go with Be Your Girl, because that is like the ladies' favorite. Let's do a little something this morning.
Sure. Don't know if you got a girl. Don't mean no disrespect, but thoughts of you rule my world. I even dream of you, I swear. Visions of you and I.
Whoa! That's it. I love it. I've got to try and contain myself, Teedra. It's early in the morning. I've got to try and contain myself. Oh, gosh. So listen, we're going to see you next week. No doubt after I think I'm going to come Saturday night, I'm going to come Saturday night.
Yeah, it's going to be live.
And then I'm going to come up and say hello and have a little chat upstairs after, yeah? How about that?
Yes.
No doubt.
Yes.
So
Thank
listen,
you so much for having me.
No, that's not a problem, man. Always a pleasure. So listen, we're going to kick off with a couple of your joints this morning. What should we play? Give me two of your favorites that I can drop this morning.
All I Ever Wanted featuring Rick Ross is definitely one of my favorites.
Oh, bad tune.
And that one featuring Anthony Hamilton.
Okay, then. We're going to do that this morning. Could you introduce it right here on Real Buzz Radio? Introduce it, please. The track with Rick Ross.
Yes, this is Teedra Moses, the Lioness, and you are now checking out All I Ever Wanted featuring the biggest boss, Rick Ross.
Woo! See you next week, eh? Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.